San Diego home prices fall again for another month in a row is the headline that I just read. And while that is partially true, it's also partially not true. It comes down to what type of home you are living in right here in San Diego. So that's what we're going to dive in today. I'm going to show you what's currently happening in the market. And since we do work with a lot of clients throughout San Diego County, I'm going to give you some insight into what we will potentially see going into the end of the year. I'm Chris Erickson, and like I mentioned, we have a real estate crew right here in San Diego. So whether you are looking to buy or sell, we got your back. All of our contact info is in the description right below. Feel free to reach out when the time is right. Could be next week, it could be next year. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego. So let's dive into it. The article mentioned that home prices are down from last month, but also off the peak. So if we go back here, this top line right here, this is single family homes. The bottom line is going to be condos and townhomes. So you can see there is a difference going on right here. As we just go from month to month, as we're looking in from August of 2024 in single family homes, we're sitting about $1.37 million. We actually did see a jump up here to $1.382 million. While right down here in the condo market, it's been a little bit different story. We've seen a downtrend coming into the last few months. And as we look over here, look at San Diego County, this top line here, right here is actually up 5.2% year over year. So where homes were last September of 2023, right around here, home prices, single family home prices are actually up 5.2%. While you look at condos right down here from September of last year, we are actually down 5.5%. So you can see there are two different markets here, whether you are trying to buy or sell a townhome. There's going to be two different things happening. One thing that we have seen with the condo market, it's potentially happening in other condo complexes as well, but we had a listing come up over the summer. There was some issues with insurance as far as what was happening. Even single family homes, you'll run into problems with insurance depending on what zones you are in. But typically, since it's a single family home, it's going to come down to a price. While condos, you're dealing with an HOA. So what had happened, they got dropped from their insurance. They had supplemental insurance, but there wasn't enough insurance to satisfy a lender. When a buyer comes in, the lender's going through all the documents, making sure everything is in line. In this case, it didn't line up. So that home did have to come off the market and they're getting that resolved, but I could see that happening in other complexes as well. Now, what about the number of closed sales out there? Both are falling from the peak in single family in July, and we peaked out in August. So both are actually up. The number of closed sales, 6.4% and 1.0%. So the number of sales is up compared to last year, but last year was pretty low. If I bring this out to a 5-year picture, you can see we are where we peaked out over here in June of 21, of September of 2020. And this is what I call a more normalized market, August of 2019. There's about 2,500 home sales. And then at peak of this year, there was only 1,500. So the number of buyers, the amount of demand out there is significantly less than it was back then. Part of the reason is due to the number of homes on the market. While we have had some good growth in the number of new listings, the number of new homes coming on the market, up 15% compared to September of last year, and almost 19% for townhomes and condos. And that's potentially one of the reasons more homes coming on the market. There is less pressure on prices going up. So if buyers have more choices and there's less buyers in the market, you're going to see those prices potentially go down a little bit because they have options. There's not necessarily bidding wars like there was in the past. And it really depends house to house, the price point, the area, a few other factors, what's going on with mortgage rates. Now we're looking at active listings. The number of actual homes on the market takes into homes that are already on the market, plus the new listings that we just looked at comes on month to month. If we saw either of those numbers going up, this line is a good example going into 2022 when interest rates did rise significantly, then you could expect home prices to potentially have some downward pressure. But since it's not up significantly in the single family homes, that's probably why we saw an uptick in the median price for single family homes, while the condo and townhome market is up 46%, nearly 50% of where we were in September of 2023. That's another reason why there's more homes, there's more condos on the market. pushing the prices down a little bit. Now, I don't bring this next chart up too much because it's kind of boring, but here we go. It's months supply of inventory. Basically, it's how much demand is out there, how much supply is out there. It takes those two factors into account. You're taking the number of active listings, dividing by the number of closed sales from last month, and then to give you month supply. The higher this number is, the more skewed towards a seller's market it is. The lower this number is, the more you are looking at a buyer's market. Right here in August, we peaked out at 2.7 months for single family homes and 3.1 months for townhomes and condos. Now, typically, if you go by the general consensus of the real estate market, usually they're saying like 6 months is a neutral market, meaning there's not excessive amount of buyers out there. There's not excessive amount of sellers. It's called a balanced market. But I think once you get into San Diego market, it's a little bit different. We haven't seen that for a long time. I think like a 4 to 5 month inventory levels, the month supply of inventory, that's kind of where I'm going to put the balanced market here. We're a little bit different than the US as a whole. Once you go higher than that 5 month level, that's when you see a number of homes on the market. They are sitting a little bit longer. Prices are potentially coming down a little bit because there's not enough demand, enough buyer demand out there to continue to push those prices up. And now here's a good indicator as well of the demand out there. This number is going to break down how much above or below the list price homes are selling for. That 100% mark, it sold right at the list price. Anything below that, a little bit below. Anything above, like we did get in April of 2022, where homes were selling for about 107% of list price. That time is when you heard of multiple offers. You heard of bidding wars. You heard of people waiving appraisals and inspections and all that kind of stuff. That is a super competitive market. Now, right now, it's house to house. There's still some competition on certain homes, but we're not looking at over 100%. So homes are, even in some homes that we've recently sold, there has been competition on the home. There has been, instead of, 5, 10, 15 offers, maybe there's 2, 3, potentially 4 offers coming in. And so it's adding a little bit of upward pressure, but sometimes those homes are still even selling a little bit below list price. Once again, home to home, it's really going to vary. And when we are chatting with clients as far as what's going on in the home that they potentially want to put an offer in, it's really going to come down to having the conversation with, or us having the conversation with the listing agent to see where the offers are, to get as much information as we can, and to put you in the best position to get the home. But as of right now, these numbers are sitting right about 98% of list price. So going the next 30, 60, 90 days, while we're sitting right here in October, heading towards the end of the year, typically that time is when you are going to see a little bit less action in the market. The number of new listings coming on the market is going to be less. The number of closed sales is going to be less. So less sellers, but also less buyers out there, and then start picking up as we go into the new year. I think this year is going to be no different, just from what we were just looking at and what we're seeing out in the market. Less homes coming on the market. We have clients who are putting their home on the market, but we are waiting till we go into the new year. And that's partially due to their timing and when they need to get to where they are going. But usually in that springtime is usually right here in San Diego when you see more active buyers in the market. But here is a big wild card that could potentially skew the market one way or the other, and that's mortgage rates. Now, these mortgage rates take a little bit of time to trickle into the market. So interest rates drop way down here in about 3 weeks ago. September 16th, they dropped to 6.14%. During that time, you saw more mortgage applications. You saw some more people getting into the market or getting interested in the market. But since then, they have gone up again to 6.64%. But as I have mentioned in the past, a lot of buyers are more sensitive to the big swings in the market, up or down. And potentially when it's going down, they're going to like, okay, well, I'm going to wait because it's going to continue to go down, then see where we're at, next month, a few weeks after that, the next month. But you can see there's been a lot of fluctuations in the mortgage rate market. So that is going to have an effect, especially going into these next few months, especially now that they have risen up above 6.5% again. So as we go through that, if you do have questions and you want to start that conversation for your specific situation and talk timeline and your goals and how we could best help you, as a quick reminder, I'm Chris Erickson. We have a real estate crew right here in San Diego. All of our contact info is right below. So feel free to reach out because we got your back when making the move here in San Diego.